So we're seeing a lot of really nice bloom around the grove. This is definitely one of the stars. This is Monty. So looking at a lot of healthy flowers, hoping for a lot of nice fruit from this particular variety. So Monty is one of our own varieties. It's a truly tropical original, very popular, and it generally comes early in the season. So you might notice that there's a lot of trees in the background of a lot of these shots that are not blooming, but Monty is just covered in bloom. So we thought we would just sort of walk around the grove and check out what's going on for different trees. So here's another interesting tree. This is Rosa, and Rosa is rather productive, and some years we actually get fruit very early. One year I had some fruit from this tree in February. Now, it's not going to happen this year because we are seeing a lot of young bloom now, so yay, because without the bloom you don't get the fruit. But it takes 120 days to get from flower to fruit, and that takes us past February. So we are hoping for a nice year. It looks like it's going to be a good year for Rosa. Everything looks healthy, and we'll just see how it plays out. This one over here is worth mentioning just because it's got a lot of bloom, and it is an important variety, but the importance for this tree is mostly that the seeds of the fruit are very commonly used for rootstock. This is turpentine. Bad name, tasty fruit. The fruit does have some fiber, so it's usually the fruit or ripe fruit are mashed up, rolled in between your hands to sort of break up the inside of the fruit, and then it's usually drunk. Like you just squeeze the juice out into your mouth. So looks like a good year for turpentine. So here's a rather popular variety. This is Valkyrie. It is a cross between Valencia Pride and Kerry Mango, and very tasty. You might notice a complete lack of flowers right now. So it's just, the timing is not quite right. It looks like it's, the tree is very healthy, and probably with the next growth flush will be putting out flowers instead of leaves. We'll just have to see about that, but looking good. Then just check out some more trees here. This is one of our lemon meringue trees. It's just a crazy popular variety, and you're looking at lots of bloom. This is the north side, which for some reason it seems to have more bloom on it than the other sides of this particular tree. So a lot of bloom there. This here, we have a combination of Pina Colada and Rosa. So we'll just be able to figure that out once the fruit forms, of course, but it's a mixed tree. And this is a Beverly tree, and we can see evidence of fruit last year. We've got some empty panicles and such, but no flowers yet this year. Beverly's a late variety, so it's not surprising that it hasn't flowered yet. Pineapple Pleasure, lovely variety. And oh yes, here we go. We have some bloom here. So that's just a looks like the south side and the east side of this particular tree is started to bloom, but I'm sure everything else is going to bloom soon. And we have Nam Dak Mai, very sweet fruit, and we have quite a bit of bloom on this tree. And here's a Duncan tree. So we have to sort of look up high. We've got some bloom over here at the top of the tree. Nothing seems to be blooming lower. We've got that over there and here, but I'm guessing a lot of the other branch ends are going to be putting out flowers soon. Here's Carrie, very popular variety. So far, looks like no flowers. And here's one of our mixed trees. I don't know, I think that there might be one of the varieties that is blooming. Yes. So yeah, all this section, no bloom yet. And then this, the one that is way up high, that's on the, oh, and here we have a little bit down here, yay. This bloom is Saitong, which is a Southeast Asian variety, and generally speaking, the Southeast Asian varieties do not need as much cold weather to trigger a bloom. So this might be one of the first varieties to actually have fruit. We'll have to see how that works out. So here's some fun bloom. I believe that this is Venus. So we have bloom here, bloom there, and I'm sure we'll be getting more bloom on this tree. Venus is a nice, really nice variety, and it does seem to be rather productive. Oh, here's a lot of bloom. Just lots of bloom. Oh, that looks great up there on the top of the tree. This happens to be Edward, which Edward is a variety that's been around for a while, but my goodness, it's good. Very, very nice variety. It's also a parent of many varieties that you love, but Edward just on its own is very nice. We have flowers, yay! So I'm guessing that these flowers are Southern Blush. There's a couple varieties on this sort of cluster of branches, but I think these are going to be the Southern Blush. This definitely looks like Southern Blush here. So hopefully we'll get a nice crop of Southern Blush. So this particular branch of this particular tree happens to be Sugarloaf, which, you know, Sugarloaf is one of the somewhat newer varieties, very, very popular. Has like a pineapple coconut kind of flavor to the fruit. And so hopefully these flowers will become gorgeous, delicious fruit. Have some more here. You might notice the leaves are different at the top of the tree, and that's because it's another variety. This particular variety is Cushman. So Cushman is a rather vigorous variety and rather large fruit. Sometimes I've heard people refer to it as pineapple mango because it does have like a pineapple flavor to it. Some more flowers going on here. It's a little bit later variety, so that's always nice. Usually the bigger fruit are later varieties because they stay on the trees later, and that's a good thing. You don't want all of your mangoes coming in at the same time. So here's another awesome variety. You can see a few panicles, flower panicles here, and at the very top of the tree. This is Pina Colada, and as you may already know, it's named that because the fruit has like a pineapple coconut kind of flavor going on. Yeah, it seems like a lot of these trees are about to flower, but haven't flowered yet. So we'll see how that plays out. So we have flowers here. This is one of our many lemon meringue trees. It seems like we can't grow enough of that variety, and hopefully we'll have a good year for all of the lemon meringue trees. So here's a gorgeous tree, and it's got bloom, and it's working on making some fruit. This is Coggshall. Coggshall is just a very pretty growing tree. Doesn't get like huge, and the fruit are, just everybody seems to like them. It's just a classic mango flavor. The tree and the fruit seems to be disease resistant. Here we have flowers up here. Lots of flowers all around. This is one of our Pimsengmun trees. Pimsengmun is from Thailand originally, and it's just very popular fruit for those looking for sweet flavors, just a sweet mango. I really like the little tiny fruit that drop prematurely. They just, all the fruit is good, but I like to have just a little snack here and there. Oh, we got some more flowers here. We've got here. So this is another Pimsengmun tree, and looks like it's on the same schedule, which is sort of to be expected. Lots of flowers, hoping for lots of fruit. This doesn't have an impressive bloom yet, but it does have at least one bloom. Oh, we've got a little bit over here too. Here. And this happens to be Jakarta. So, we looked at Jakarta at another part of the grove, completely full of flowers. This one is just, even though it's just a few hundred feet away, it's on a different schedule. It happens a lot with trees. It's, the timing, even for identical trees grown very close together, one can fruit before the other one. So not concerned at all about getting more Jakarta fruit, or not as much Jakarta fruit from this one as the other one. I think it's going to be a pretty good season for this particular tree also. So this is one of my fun things here. This tree used to be Valencia Pride. Now, because we have this tree here as Valencia Pride, and this very large tree on this side being Valencia Pride, I didn't think we really needed this one to be Valencia Pride also. So what I did a while ago was top worked a lot of the branches to fruit punch. And so hopefully we'll have a really nice fruit punch season, but we'll just have to wait and see. Out of this whole Valencia Pride tree here, I see one panicle way up top, one bloom. Of course, in another few weeks, this whole tree is going to be covered with bloom. So this might be the late row. There's not a lot of bloom on any of these trees. Finally, we have this tree has a little bit of bloom here and here. It's starting to get a little bit more impressive on this side. This tree is Dupuis Saigon. So nice variety, and it is doing its best to get the bloom out. I'm sure that a lot of these other branches are going to be pushing out bloom soon, but we've got a fair amount already. So we've got some bloom here. This is the other side of the Pim Sengman that we just were passing. So got those, and we have Nam Dak Mai here. Lots of bloom. There. So this is one of our carry trees. It's a fairly new addition, possibly on dwarfing rootstock, but it has some flowers up in the top and some that are a little bit lower down. Guessing we'll have a good carry year because, of course, this is not our only carry tree. So here's one of our dwarf Hawaiian trees. Now, last year the weather was not kind to dwarf Hawaiian. In January we had cold, wet weather, and it destroyed the first and second bloom of dwarf Hawaiian. Dwarf Hawaiian tends to bloom like very eagerly, and We were looking forward to a really good season, and unfortunately that didn't happen. This year I'm looking at lots of nice bloom, and we're hoping the weather stays with us, because it would be lovely to have a nice crop of Dwarf Hawaiian. We certainly have a lot of new growth, we have a lot of flowers, so we'll see how it plays out. And then here we have crazy amount of bloom. This is lemon zest, and boy, everything looks really healthy. The bloom looks very healthy. The leaves look healthy. There have been some years where we haven't gotten many fruit from this tree because of like disease problems and such, which are usually for us related to wet weather. So as long as the weather stays nice, we could have a really nice lemon zest crop this year. So this seems like a good place to wrap up the bloom part of our tour. All of this bloom here is 015, and you might remember from just a little bit ago we had a great bloom on Jakarta. Now Jakarta is actually a parent of 015, so it makes sense that they're on the same schedule pretty much on the bloom. So we have bloom basically all over this tree, and so hopefully we'll get a nice crop. You know, we've got hundreds of flowers on these panicles, but you know, 015 is a rather large fruit, so if we get 2 fruit per panicle, that would be like crazy. The fruit are large, so the tree, these branches cannot support, massive amounts of 015. But it's looking like a good year, and we're hoping that the weather conditions stay favorable and that we have a really nice crop of 015. So that's a look at what's flowering in the northeast section of the grove. Don't worry, I mean, we do have a lot of plants that are not flowering, but it's only December. And so there's a lot of time left for these other trees to bloom, set fruit, and grow the fruit. We have so many varieties of mangoes here, and they have the early season mangoes, the mid-season mangoes, and the late season mangoes. Sometimes the weather can adjust the timing of those fruit and stuff, but it's really good to have varieties that fruit at different times of year, because you don't want to have to eat a big pile of mangoes in the same day. So basically, we are looking forward to a great 2026 mango season. You can't count your chickens before they're hatched. There's a lot that could happen between now and when the fruit are ready to pick. But so far it looks good. The weather's been good, the trees are healthy, and we've had a lot of nice looking bloom on many of the trees.